So for this Easter Sunday, she's going to celebrate your spring awakening, your rebirth, your new beginning, and your own new resurrection. We've had the feeling that inner strong winds are heightening in these past 2 months. They seem to be stronger, and they're asking us to shake off what no longer serves us. How is this disturbance affecting our daily lives with ourselves, our family, and our friends? Or is it more a time of personal renewal? Resurrections and opportunities start over no matter what our circumstance. So our speaker had a deep awakening, a deeper spring awakening. And she said that if nature was saying, wake up, this is a time for celebration, for movement, for taking action, a feeling of being alive for the first time, really feeling life. It's magic, it's energy, it's dance. Wow, what a joy. As Carl Nunson said, the story of Easter is God's wonderful window of divine surprise. So ask yourself, what surprises await me as I crack open, break out of the hardened protective shell that I have surrounded myself with? Easter symbolizes our ability to crack open. And with that, it spells out the beauty and the rare beauty of life. Spring adds new life, new joy to all that is. So our speaker today, Reverend Susan DeLorenzo, she's been both a student and teacher of spiritual awareness for decades. Her willingness to see the truth opens to ongoing self-discovery. She is certified Usui Reiki master teacher, does past life regression therapy, hypnosis, IET, advanced spiritual intuitive development. She does it all. Reiki has been a gift of love through her many years of practice and teaching. She does this beautiful channeled vibrational sounds called echoes of love, which include ancient light languages, tones, and chants, and these have found their way into many of her Reiki sessions. So that adds another beautiful layer for healing. Her meditation practice opens her up to a more peaceful way of being, and she also teaches meditation classes. The Course in Miracles gatherings continue to support her dedication into deeper awareness and awakening to the truth, her truth. Susan volunteers her Reiki services at Siloam and HIV/AIDS Ministry in Philadelphia. She's an ordained Circle of Miracles interfaith minister, as we all well know and love. She's a facilitator for Sunday services, and now will be eventually serving as the board president once we all do our voting and have that all underway. She lives in Washington Crossing with her husband of 53 years and is grateful for her 4 children and their families. So with much love, with much friendship, we welcome Reverend Susan DeLorenzo.
All right. I'm unmuted and I'm ready to go, right?
Ready to go.
Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. As I listen to, well, first of all, it is a gorgeous day, isn't it? Oh, well, I'm looking outside my window and I'm seeing it's clouded over, but the sun was shining when I woke up this morning. And I know the sun is shining in each one of you. And I am grateful to be here with you all today and actually feel pretty honored to be speaking with you, talking with you on this, one of these, a holiest of holy days, Easter. And I so appreciate, Susan Tweedale, your offering about Christ, Jesus, and who he really is. And I too have felt that loving presence in my heart, actually for my whole life, since I was a child. And after 2 weeks in 1990, I started meditating. And after a couple of weeks, he started to show up. for me in my meditations, actually for 3 days. So that was, I guess I had my own resurrection, and how I showed up in these 3 different meditations I was a 3-year-old, and there was a light in front of me. And I knew I was supposed to walk into that light, but I was frightened. I wasn't sure of that light. And Jesus showed up, and Jesus picked me up, and I wrapped my arms and legs around him, and we walked into the light. So surprisingly, the following morning when I started meditating, there it was again. There was the light. I knew I was to go to the light, walk into this light. And Jesus was standing next to me this time, and he took my hand, and we walked in together. Well, that was sweet, I thought. And then the following morning, the 3rd morning, there was the light again. There was little Susie, and there was that light in front of me. And this time, I ran into the light. I wasn't planning on sharing this, but it just, listening to Susan Tweedell's talk kind of brought that up for me again. And so, happy Easter, everyone. I'll put on my glasses now because I have written a talk, and I think Sharon probably gave it to you. So thanks, Sharon. And everybody you're going to hear a lot of these pieces again. And I don't know what Easter was like for you. As a child, I was brought up in the Catholic religion, and Easter was a special day, and Easter week was a special week. It was Holy Week. And during that week, we would spend a lot of time in contemplation and preparation for the Easter holiday. And I remember waking up on Easter morning with a feeling of like giddiness and a feeling of surprise, knowing that something wonderful was going to happen. I didn't know what it was, but there was a level of trust. There was a level of trust. I just knew. So along with that was a sense of whimsical joy and hope, and that life was dancing with me. And perhaps I was stepping into my own resurrection. So as Sharon mentioned, I love spring. It is my favorite time of the year, and I love all its smells. Everything smells so fresh and so new. And the colors, I love spring's colors, the yellows and the purples, and and the white, and the trees that are blossoming and bursting. It is, as Sharon said, as if it's saying, wake up, wake up. This is a time for celebration. It's a time for movement with new life. And it's like feeling alive for the first time, especially this year. I felt its magic, its energy, its dance. And it was moving, it's like life was moving with us. And together we stepped into a new vigor, a new sense of wonder and appreciation. And I can feel, and I could, and I still can feel its lightness. And we dance with it like a beautiful waltz, feeling its grace as we move. total surrender, and nothing to resist. Nothing to resist. And as I take a moment to connect, I am given a new start, and I am given an opportunity to remember that all this beauty I see and all this wonder I see is just a reflection, a mirror of who I really am. And at that moment, I am experiencing my own resurrection, a reuniting with my soul, and it is good. So along with this vibrancy of spring offerings, I'm also seeing its opposite and experiencing its opposite. And when I do, it feels heavier and harsher. This shadow stuff that's coming up to be seen. And I guess it could be likened to a crucifixion. The Course in Miracles reminds us that each day, each hour, and minute, even every second, I am deciding on crucifixion or resurrection. And that each decision I make is either one of grievance or a miracle. And Lord only knows I'm experiencing both these days. But there's no judgment. There's no judgment if I step into that space of remembering. But if I step into that space of self-judgment, I find myself being less tolerant of others. There is no other, but less tolerant with others. Now, isn't that a crazy one? I mean, it's crazy what we do. It's crazy what I do. And so this Easter week, I am finding myself consciously deciding to let go of grievances, to let go of these grievances as they come up. And some have been hiding. Some have been hiding, maybe because they were pushed down, or maybe I was busy doing spiritual bypassing, or perhaps I have busied myself with distractions so I don't have to feel them. And what I'm being asked to do more than ever is to feel them. To feel them. And now I know if I don't feel them, I stay stuck and I don't move. And when I feel them, they start to move. And I sit with them as long as I need to sit with them. And that's a new normal for me. So I thought, hey, what a gift we've been given, this social distancing, spending time at home. And I thought, universe, isn't this a novel idea? A way to offer us more time to spend with ourselves. And I asked myself, and for you too, are we being led back to ourselves, the real self? So we might say that life is happening for us, not to us. And even those moments, even these moments that we consider to be a challenge, harsh, or unfair, and we do, are actually leading us into something greater, and we just don't perceive it in the moment. And as Sharon read, we have been feeling the inner strong winds heightened in these past 2 months. Maybe 3 months, maybe 4 months for you. But they seem stronger for me. And they are asking me to step up to the plate and say, how is this working for you, Susan? Are you ready to shake off what no longer serves you? So I wonder, how is this disturbance of the social distancing and all of it affecting our daily lives with ourselves, with our family? If I have a husband that I'm with 24/7. Some of you are alone and some of you have children. I have children who are at home. I have a daughter who has 2 little ones at home, and she's a teacher, so she's working on classes, doing online things, plus taking care of and trying to work with 2 children that are on the spectrum. So she has many, many opportunities. Life is happening for her too. And so if I see my daughter and others as, the poor things, this is so hard for them. I mean, what am I contributing? No, to see that she's a strong person, and these kids are amazing, and they're going to make it through this, and they're going to be stronger for it. Just as we are becoming stronger for this time of physical separation. This is a time for personal renewal. And I would guess that we're getting it more often now. As I said, I am. And one of the things I really appreciate is that I've been having what I would say nurturing soul conversations with friends. Sharing with friends what is most sacred and true. And then together via phone, we are uncovering the shadows. We are uncovering the shadows without the judgment. And we are together remembering what is true. And in these moments, we step into our own light, along with our shadows. And we feel lighter, and a resurrection has taken place. And I've had 2 of those this week. 2 beautiful, beautiful moments with friends where we have unpacked some of our shadows and looked at them honestly and stepped into the light. So, as I said, I'm spending more time focusing on what's inside me and taking the responsibility for what the mirror is reflecting. And as Panache Desai says, we are relearning. And he invites us to meet what we're feeling with compassion at this time. Again, what an opportunity for self-reflection. And he asks us to just notice the many moments of grace. And notice the many moments of grace that are showing up. Like the phone calls I mentioned. I take a walk around the block and I'm meeting my neighbors, some of my neighbors for the first time. We are social distancing. I was told to put hearts on some of them on my door, and we have group mailboxes, and to paste them on some of the mailboxes just to let people know how much we appreciate all those who are in service for us at this time. So I'm just asking you all to just notice those moments of grace that are showing up. And being honest, to be honest and clear about what you're going through that makes space for grace, or an activation possibly. It is said that the purpose of Easter is to remember we are not a body with a soul, but that we are a soul with a body. And so what does this bring awaken in you? You know, Carl says the story of Easter is God's wonderful window of divine surprise. What surprise awaits us as we crack open out of our hardened protective shell that we've surrounded ourselves with. I don't think that shell's so strong anymore, guys. I think that shell's getting thinner and it's easier to break through. And I think that's happening for all of us. And that's the miracle I see. So it's just another invitation to joy. And so this day, and every day actually, it feels almost silly to say this day, but this is a day for new beginnings. And this is a season of hope. And I ask, and you can join me if you wish, a season that I may see with new eyes, with eyes of love to every person I see. And I also ask that my deafness be healed and that I may hear. And I ask that this be a day of resurrection. Let us walk together, allowing our hearts and our minds to be touched. Let's do it. Amen. You know, if I have time, Sharon, I would like to read this poem, to end it with this poem. Do I have time?
Yes, you do.
Okay. So it's really repeating everything I've been saying and sharing, but I found it on the computer the other day, and it's called What Wants to Be Born to You, Beloved. So I have become grateful for moments when I remember to stop in order to listen to what the earth has to tell me. And this morning it was a flower who took me by surprise and shared her secrets with me. She told me of her journey, how it began in darkness, in the quiet, cool embrace of the quiet, generous earth. She told me how the light called to her and how slowly but solidly she began to unfold towards the simple inevitability of her calling. She told me of the exquisite cracking open of all she knew herself to be. The opening that felt like death until she realized it was her birth. And then, with her petals open, she asked me in a way only a full-bloomed flower can ask. What wants to be born in you, beloved? What does light want to call into being from that quiet, generous earth that patiently awaits you in the cave of your heart? So I ask those questions to you, my friends, and I'd love to hear from you and to share what is being born in you and what is being called into being.